some of you know, many of you know, that I've been working for some time on a book about ritual. God willing, I'll get to like a minimum viable product by January. I'm really getting close, and it means collecting a lot of stories. A big part of my book is based on the work of Rabbi-Dr. Vanessa Oakes, who just retired from the University of Virginia, and back in 2007, she won the National Jewish Book Award for her book, Inventing Jewish Ritual. She was looking at the last 25 years before that, the last quarter century of the 20th century, examining what happened after second wave feminism and the emergence of women's seders and everything that came through the Chavurah movement, which inspired so many, I know, of us, of you. And also all sorts of things like the Jewish catalog, which is an essential of self-empowered Judaism on any shelf. I recently finally got in touch with her directly. It was very intimidating to kind of meet somebody who I only knew from the page. She's really an extraordinary person. And she told me that she had a brand new ritual that she had just introduced in her household. She said for the very first time in her life, she encountered something at the Shabbat table that, you know, she didn't think she had a lot of firsts left in her, but she had a first left in her. She just moved up to Rhode Island after a lifetime of living in Virginia, and her adult child came over for Shabbat, bringing a bunch of friends. And she said we were well out of the stage of having grape juice at our table because we've been wine drinkers collectively for so long. But when my kid came, my adult child came, she brought with her a significant number of friends, some of whom are in the practice of sobriety for all sorts of different reasons. They don't drink wine, and she didn't have anything. So she went to her fridge, and she said, I had to think quick. And what I did was I pulled out a bunch of grapes. I pulled it out of the fruit drawer in my fridge, and I said, this is the same bracha. She's also a rabbi, not just a doctor. She passed it around, and she put some of those in little cups and some of the Manischewitz wine in little cups. And it reminded me, because I think somewhere in the universe, we are all deeply connected to each other through ritual, that way on the other side of the world, there is a community of Jews, the Abba Yudaya Jews in Uganda. Some of you might already be making plans for are we calling it TB Africa or TBA Africa? You gotta learn how to pronounce it. Tabafrica, that's much better. I'm so glad I was corrected on that. I will say it that way from now on. So the Tabafrica trip will take one of the major communities we'll visit, since we have members of the Temple Beth Am community who are from that community. That's their home community. We'll visit there. Cantor Mike Stein, who some of you know has been in Los Angeles for a long time, has long been a friend and a visitor to the Abba Yudaya community. And some years ago, I went to Pico Union Project, and he was offering some Torah at a Seder a couple weeks before Pesach. It was a little bit post-COVID, and we were all sharing stories with one another. And he said the first time that he spent Shabbat with the Abba Yudaya community, they handed him the cup for Kiddush, and it was filled with, anyone know? Not grape juice. It's filled with banana liqueur. Why banana liqueur? The Rabbi Sizomu, the major rabbi in the community, said, when our community really leaned into Judaism here some 100-ish years ago for the first time, they lamented the fact that grapes do not grow here. It's not possible for us, like short of a greenhouse, to grow grapes in this community. But how do grapes grow? They grow in bunches. And he said, what do we have that grow also in bunches? Bananas. And since then, their community has made Kiddush on banana liqueur. And now I expect the Tabafrica, did I do that right? Trip to come back and report how is that banana liqueur and what is that experience like? And bring some of that back. I agree, or bring some back. Mashke, banana mashke. So 2 lessons out of this that I want to share as we rise and gather for the candle lighting. The first lesson is, there's ein chadash tachat hashamayim. There is absolutely nothing that is singularly unique under the sun. And I hope that this week, rather than feeling at a loss because maybe someone else already thought of something before you, you say, Baruch shekivanti, what a blessing that someone else has also thought of this thing and that it connects me to them and it tethers me to them across the world. And the other thing is that Ein Sof l'ritual. There's just no end to what you can possibly imagine. And I hope that when you find, figuratively or literally, a moment where you just don't have the grape juice that you need, you reach for some grapes. Don't give up on the moment, make it more beautiful, and turn it into a story.